views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
You are listening to Your Next Chapter Radio, navigating through life's transitions with Shelly Ryan on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Shelly's contagious enthusiasm amazingly makes you want to tackle your transitions and jump to your next chapter. Do you have a major change happening in your life and you don't even know where to begin? Are you letting fear and anxiety get in the way of your next move? Shelly has been working with people for over a decade with everything from writing books to career changes to simply cleaning out their closets. How? Powerfully and funnily. Shelly's creative and powerful approach makes it happen by guiding you deliberately, mindfully, and purposefully. Now, here's your host, Shelly Ryan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shelly Ryan, and you're listening to Your Next Chapter on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and consider all of the chapters of your life story. How's it going so far? What chapter's next for you? It's time to open up your bestseller to a blank page and design your next chapter. As a transition coach, my clients come to me unsettled and dissatisfied with something in their life. It may be their job or relationship or lack of one, family, health, weight, finances, or they just aren't having any fun and they know they need to change. But for a variety of reasons, they just haven't been able to make it happen. Today's next chapter is for those of you who are wanting more money, more freedom, and more joy in your life, but are mystified regarding the secrets and how to acquire it. Today, we're going to learn practical tips on how your mindset can play a pivotal role in unleashing your inner millionaire. Luci McMonagle is my guest for today's show. She's a person of influence, a talk show host, and an international best-selling author of magical money manifestations. She's known as the mystic for her pure connection to the angelic realms, and she teaches people how to manifest more money, more freedom, and more joy in their life by bridging practicality with spirituality. That leads people to unlocking their inner millionaire to wealth. So please welcome Luci to your next chapter. Hi, Luci.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. We are really excited to hear your secrets to unleashing our inner millionaires. I know people get really frustrated and tired of living kind of in a state of lack, not having enough money, enough time, they feel tied down, not having enough fun. So, Luci, can you tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to this place in your life?
Absolutely, and thank you, Shelly. So, my beginnings were really tough. When I was a child, I grew up in poverty. My parents were divorced by the time I was 3 because my half-sister, Vicky, passed in a tragic drowning. Oh, wow. So it was tough. My mom wasn't prepared to raise me and my other sister, my blood sister, by herself. And so we were on and off welfare. My mom always worked 2-3 jobs. She's doing everything she could. She was always struggling, but we were always poor. And I started the same cycle when I was in my early 20s. And I finally got to the breaking point for me. And it was when I opened up the cabinet and I seen the saltine crackers again for another night. And I was staring at my son's food. He was just starting to eat soft foods that I was making. And I just wanted to eat his food. And I broke because I felt so guilty. Yeah. And I made this vow to myself that I would find a way out of this misery so that I would never have to suffer like this again. And I would never have to look at my baby's food wanting to take his portion.
Right.
And
wow.
That vow, that oath that I made put me in a tailspin of really understanding that, a lot of the circumstances that I was in was because I didn't have the right training or the skills, and I didn't have the right thinking.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. That's a deep story. That really, I can see that was your, your turning point for sure. I could see how that could be your turning point for sure.
Yes.
Well, is there a secret to going from poor to rich? Have you found that?
Yes, absolutely. There's several secrets to going from poor to rich. And one of the main secrets is to really understand where are you at right this moment in regards to how do you think about money? How do you feel about money? What is your general thinking? Are you obsessing about the negativity that's going on in your life and the chaos and the frustration? Or are you focusing on solutions?
Mm.
And that's the key, is to focus on how can I, rather than, oh my gosh, it's happening again.
Sure. And is that where you landed after you had that big aha moment?
That I started to really realize that I was always thinking and worrying about, how I was going to make it through the next day, whether or not I should buy food or pay rent.
Mm.
And the decisions I had to look at is like, what am I really spending my money on?
Sure.
And I had to evaluate, where was I? And fortunately, I started finding mentors and teachers through programs that were available for young women at that time.
Okay.
And I was able to I started learning financial literacy. I started learning how to balance my checkbook on a better level. I started learning how to, find the different stores that would have like 30 or 50% off for certain days. So I started to really have to find ways to stretch what I had. And then fortunately, we did have food banks, but sometimes the food banks didn't really have anything.
Okay.
And I had to really find resources and dig deep, swallow, and stop being so prideful of not receiving. And learning how to receive is one of the biggest secrets on how to go from poor to rich.
Oh yeah, I definitely get that one for sure, because that pride really can get in your way, right? That is,
Yes.
I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to have people see my need, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
Yes.
those were some really practical solutions that
Yes.
were helping you move from poor to rich, right?
Yes.
And that's how you started to how you started to learn to unlock some of those inner millionaire secrets.
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
That
So
is.
what are some of the first steps to helping you unlock the power of your mind? Because it sounds like this was a mindset, like learning how to receive was a mindset, right?
Correct. Yes, it was. So one of the very first things that I learned was to track where I was at. I mean, where am I starting? What am I
Okay.
thinking about all the time? And it's easy for your mind to play tricks on you. And it's easy for you to kind of have selective memory when you're in the midst of chaos and frustration, and you're running and you're running and you're running and you're working so hard. And it's not that I wasn't working. I had 2 jobs. I just didn't make enough money. So I took an index card and I put happy, sad, positive, negative. And I just started tallying up, paying attention to where I was at. And it was kind of hard because I always had racing thoughts. My mind was all over the place. I couldn't really think straight because I was always obsessing about something. I almost thought I was ADHD or maybe I was bipolar or something.
Okay.
Something was going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I as much as I could, I tried to catch what I was thinking and put it in just the categories. And the hardest part was not persecuting myself for being almost 90% negative and 85% sad.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a really big key to the mindset when you first start out. Where are you starting from? Is don't persecute yourself. You're already tormenting yourself enough.
Oh my gosh. If
Don't
you're at
add more to it.
85% negative and 90% sad, that's bad enough, right? Like that's the torment that you're already experiencing, right? So don't add to it.
Correct. So I just tracked it for like a week or so. And I couldn't take that anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to do something about this. This is now I can start seeing. And when you start doing it, you can actually start seeing the decisions you've made were made with these thought patterns. And I'm like, oh, well, that explains a lot of things.
Wow. Yeah.
And so then I started catching my thoughts when they start zooming by, and all of a sudden I'd start obsessing about something or worrying about something or starting to point my finger and blaming other people or other circumstances or my childhood or my mom or whatever. I'd stop because they didn't know any better.
Sure. Yep.
And they could only teach me what they knew.
Sure.
So I had to stop. And from there, I started pulling back and canceling out my thoughts and putting a better thought instead.
So when you noticed, so first thing is you started noticing what you're noticing, right?
Correct.
How many of your thoughts are happy? How many are sad? How many are positive? How many are negative? And then when you started to notice those and you captured some of those, then it was a process of stopping those thoughts.
Correct.
Stopping them and replacing them.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you know you were kind of moving in the right direction? What was some evidence of that?
I started to feel lighter.
Okay.
I started to have hope for the first time out of many years. Hope that something better is going to come out of this. Hope that, maybe tomorrow I'm not going to be so miserable, or maybe I'll find something better. So I started having hope, and that was, you can't buy hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did that look? Like, how did you know you felt hope?
Because I started keeping with the tracking of my thoughts.
Okay.
I started thinking more happy thoughts, and I was able to start putting more positive thoughts, and I was able to start writing on the back of the card, like little things that I noticed, like, today I found a $10 bill. And today I was able to, start my car, and it didn't backfire, and it wasn't smoking.
Got it. So when you notice those things that are different and that were actually positive, it's almost like they start to bring in more, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Well, this is a perfect place for us to stop because it's time to go to break. So you're listening to Shelly Ryan with Your Next Chapter. And when we come back, we're going to continue talking with Luci, and she's going to talk about creating a millionaire mindset. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBetton.com.
Are you looking to grow spiritually, expand your consciousness, increase psychic abilities? Well, there's a free app for that. Pure Light offers audios that transmit high spiritual frequencies to help you awaken to your full potential. Hundreds of audios created by some of the world's top energy healers, and many are free. Enjoy the latest in conscious technology and download Pure Light today. To find out more, visit purelightaudio.com.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
We're back on Your Next Chapter with Shelly Ryan. My guest today is Luci McMonagle, the mystic, who's helping us unleash our inner millionaire. Before we continue, I want to make sure everyone knows how to contact you, Luci. So could you give us your web information for our listeners?
Absolutely. So my website is lucimcmonagle.com, and that's spelled LuciMonagle.com.
Perfect. So, Luci, before the break, you shared this really compelling story about what helped you switch from the mindset of going from poor to rich. And, you talked about that story. It was a painful story. And you'd said on the break that maybe there's a time where you felt like you wish that it wouldn't have been that way. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So sometimes I look back and I wish maybe things would have been different. I wish maybe, my parents never divorced, or maybe I never started the cycle of being in circumstances that were unhealthy for me. And then I also look at when I have these incredible individuals that come to me and they have these epiphanies and their breakthroughs and they start creating joy and happiness and making a difference in the world. I think, you know what? I'm exactly where I need to be. And had my circumstances been different, I would have never written this book. I would have never reached out to people. I probably wouldn't have started my own show. And,
right.
And I certainly wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Maybe.
Yeah. But likely not, because you were really, this was built on your experience.
Correct.
Your story. Yeah.
Yes, this was built on my experience and my story. And I want people to understand that even if you haven't had that kind of calamity in your life, there's still a way that you can choose to have a better next chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you might feel like you're too late, you can always learn. And by the knowledge that you learn, you always naturally just start teaching other people a new way of life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Because we really do all have a story. Like we really do all have a story. But I think this, unlocking the power of your mind is such a critical key for everyone, right?
Yes.
Because so many of us just kind of keep moving. We just go through the motions. So what can individuals who what are some of the first steps to help people unlock the power of their mind? Let's start there.
So one of the first steps we talked about is, figuring out where you're at, what your thoughts are. The second step is when you start feeling really, really flustered and you're trying so hard to get it right, be easy on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And do the best that you can. And focus on what are my accomplishments, and then start looking at what are the words that you actually use. Now, I intentionally used the word trying so hard earlier because trying is a failure word.
Okay.
If you try, you give your way an out that you may not make it. You've already convinced your mind that if you try to do something, the outcome may or may not happen
Yep.
that you desire. So looking at what are the words that you use, because when we back up and we think about the subconscious, or we think about just the brain as a component, it takes things literally.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started understanding that my words were literal, I was like, oh my gosh. And I started carrying a pocket dictionary because I kind of got really excited because I wanted to learn better diction, better words.
Okay.
And I started realizing, oh my gosh, the word want is to always to have a desire. I'm like, I always use the word want all the time. And it's true. I have this desire all the time.
All the time, right.
All the time. And I was like, and then I started getting more excited because I'm like, oh, I'm onto something. I'm onto something.
Sure.
And I started changing my words
yes.
to words that were more affirmative, to words as if it's already happened.
Yes.
And I did get training. I didn't just come up with this out of myself. I had mentors and teachers, and I started going through mystery schools and learning to combine conscious language, although I didn't call it conscious language back then. Back then it was just using better words, with some type of a spiritual practice, something that helped me to kind of slow down my mind, because I was all over the place. I was pretty squirrely when I was younger, pretty hyper.
Well, yeah, you said you weren't even sure if you needed a diagnosis for it, right? It was, you were on the move for sure.
Yes.
So I think that happens for a lot of people, right? We have thoughts that are just zooming and zooming and zooming through our head.
Correct.
And I think it's hard for us to even imagine slowing them down. So do you have any tips for helping us slow our minds down a little bit?
Yes, I have 2 tips. Both of these, I honestly believe, have saved my life in so many circumstances.
Really?
I believe this to be true, because now I can think clearly. I can focus my thoughts so clear I could put them on a pinhead.
Wow.
And I couldn't do that when I was younger. I'd be lucky if I could put it on a football field.
Well, I thought you were going to go with football, but okay, football field, yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing I started doing is I put both of my hands over both my ears, my right hand on my right ear, my left hand on my left ear. And I would just tell my mind over and over again, be silent. And, sometimes I got a little annoyed and I'd say it a little louder than I'd want to.
Okay.
And it took about 3-4 days, and my mind started to slow down a little bit. And so I kept doing it over and over again because I'm very tenacious.
Okay.
And eventually my mind stopped. I mean, it stopped. Like nothing. I had a hard time trying to think. I'm like, oh no, I've gone overboard.
I've gone too far. Come back.
Yeah. And then that stop allowed me a break long enough so that I could start choosing what I wanted to think.
Whoa. Okay. So when you said you did it over and over again, I'm just trying to get really practical here. How many, you said it took 3 or 4 days, but how many times did you do that?
I would do it about every couple of hours.
Okay.
So it wasn't persistent. I didn't just sit there rocking back and forth, be silent, be silent, be silent.
Right.
Because you have to be practical. I'm working, I've got a baby, I'm taking care of the house, I'm cleaning, I'm doing stuff. So every time I could have a break, and usually it was when I went into the ladies' room, and I'd sit down, I'd put my hand, and I'm like, be silent, be silent. Oh my gosh, I've got to get a grip on this so I can, get ahead of myself. And, having the freedom to choose your own thoughts rather than having your thoughts run your life is just amazing.
Yep.
So that was the first thing that really saved my life, and it gave me enough structure to move forward. The second thing is I was taught, a lot of people know this as a mudra. You put your pointer finger with your thumb together on both hands, and they've seen it in a yoga pose, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't tell you is the second part, which is the tip of your tongue. You reach on the roof of your mouth, there's a little mound, and you put the tip, not the tongue, but the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. You feel that mound. You close your eyes. If you're driving, please don't do this with your eyes closed.
Sure.
So you breathe in, focused, balanced, centered. You just hold it and you sit with it for a second. You breathe out. You're breathing in and out through your nose. And you do this 3 or 4 times, focused, balanced, centered. Just rest in it for a moment. Then breathe out. And one last time, focused, balanced, centered. Then let go of your fingers, let go of your tongue, breathe out through your mouth. And then in that millisecond, pay attention to what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
And that's when you can breathe. Because now you're starting to touch into that silence, which is pure potentiality. This is where your inner wise self speaks to you. Your guardians, your guides speaks to you. This is where you get the epiphanies, the ideas, and the things that will help unlock your wealth vibes, your success.
Yeah, that is awesome. That's very similar. I also tell people about taking those 3 deep diaphragmatic breaths.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is something else to did you call it a mudra?
Yeah, the mudra is where you put your finger and your thumb together.
Mm-hmm.
That's a yoga position when you go to meditate.
Right.
And then the second part, they don't normally tell you unless you're higher up in the realms. But the second part closes your magnetic circuits.
Got it.
So you become a closed container without outside interference. You become like a sphere of light.
And that's what helps you slow your mind.
Two together, but then you're breathing in, focused, balanced, centered. So you're focusing your body, your mind, your senses. You're becoming balanced within you, and then you become centered.
Oh, I love it. Love it. I love it. Well, let's stop right there because I know I want to make sure we have plenty of time to see if there's any more to capture around that idea because we got to take a short break. You're listening to Shelly Ryan with Your Next Chapter. And when we return, Luci is going to share mystic secrets. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Laura Richer, host of On the Verge Radio. Sometimes you hear encouraging messages like transform your life now, become empowered, create the life you crave, and it all seems overwhelming and you're not sure where to start. I'm here to tell you that self-improvement is not always fun and easy, but it is always worth it. The path to creating positive changes begins with releasing the things that have been holding you back. Then you can create a life that inspires you. I know this because I've done it. You can find out more about what I do by visiting my website, seattlehealinghypnosis.com. I look forward to supporting you on your journey.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a moment for standing in your power. Self-control begins with noticing how different feelings present themselves in your body. When you're feeling sensitive, for example, your chin might quiver, tears might well up in your eyes, and your voice might catch in your throat. Anger, on the other hand, might appear as tension in your jaw, back, or arms, along with clenched fists, heat in the upper torso, scowling, and a strong desire to yell. The more aware you become of your body cues, the easier it will be to recognize when you're on the road to disaster. Choose the emotions that cause you problems, then start noticing and logging the body cues that come with them.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com. That's empoweringnrg.com.
Charlene Hess is a red-headed powerhouse of energy, love, and light. As a hairstylist, personal trainer, and life coach, she empowers people to develop a deeper connection with themselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. Join Charlene the third Friday of each month on The Cornelia Stephanie Show. Get ready to experience your highest self, find your purpose, and discover your calling. You too can become unstoppable, shining your light and sharing your gift. Visit Charlene at charlenehess.com.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Love Living Radio Ignite Your Whole Being with Emily Perkins is a show for those looking to explore the sparkling magnificence of their inner selves. Tune in every second and fourth Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific as Emily sheds a radiant light of love on the beauty and power that resides within you. Discussing love in all its forms through conversations that provoke awareness, curiosity, and expansion, Emily shares the unlimited power of love. For more information or to listen to this show, visit loveliving.holistics.com.
We're back on Your Next Chapter with Shelly Ryan. I have Luci McMonagle with us, and she's giving us some great information and insights on finding our inner millionaire. So far, we've talked about the secrets of going from poor to rich and creating a millionaire mindset. And just before the break, we were talking about one of the tips for really stilling and quieting your mind. And you talked about the mudra where you put your fingers together in that kind of yoga pose. And then can you kind of take it back from there? Because I want to talk about that. You said don't do it while you're driving. However,
yes, if you have your eyes open and you're paying attention, you can put your fingers together, holding onto the steering wheel properly. And this is the point your finger with the thumb. Then you put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth and you'll find a little moan. It's like an M. And then you touch that and you just start breathing in, focused, balanced, centered. And you can breathe in other words. It doesn't have to be those particular words, but those words help me become more focused. I'm becoming aware of my surroundings. Hyper aware of my surroundings. I become more centered inside of me so that I know where I'm at. And I become balanced so that I'm not all over the place. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to cook for dinner tonight. I'm not going to, think about, I'm here now.
Sure. And you said when you're driving and you do that, what happens?
When I'm driving, when I'm doing that, I will have a sense of, like a lot of times there'll be a person on the right-hand lane or the left-hand lane because we have 6-lane highways here. And I'll have a sense, I think somebody's going to cut in front of me. And all of a sudden I'll slow down a little bit or I'll get in the other lane. And sure enough, they'll just glide right over there and just because they're going to take the exit or they're trying to get into the HOV lane. And so it gives me this awareness of other people's intentions, even if they're not necessarily turning on their blinkers or anything. And it also makes me very aware of people who are coming up behind me really fast.
Okay.
And so I really focus all of my energy and I look at my rearview mirror and I look at them in their eyes and I say, safely. And I just really, really loud in my head, or sometimes I just yell it out loud if they scare me. Safely!
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that person will slow down. They won't. They'll recognize that, oh, there's a car in front of me. Better not try to run them over.
Right.
A lot of times, I honestly believe that has really saved me from getting into fender benders because I've only been in one little fender bender when I was 16.
Man, okay, that's a tip I need to take. I need to take that one. I've been in 9, so I need to take that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it.
Yes. Being aware. And if you normally if normally people hit you in the back end, looking in the rearview mirror and just for a second, obviously don't stare at it because you don't want to hit somebody.
Sure.
And really focus all of your thoughts into safely. We both want to get there safely.
Yeah.
And
that was a bonus. That's a bonus piece. Definitely.
That's a bonus piece.
Absolutely. Well, so can you talk a little bit about mystic secrets? Tell us what you mean by that.
Yeah. So mystic secrets is combining your spirituality with practicality. So today we've talked about the mindset and we've talked about the mudras and how you can become focused, balanced, centered. Well, the practical steps is, rethinking better thoughts. In the spiritual, the mystic side is doing the mudras combined with the better thoughts.
Okay.
So being mystic really means that whatever your spirituality is, if you pray, that's mysticism. If you say affirmations, that's kind of like a mystic thing. It's you're creating an alchemy of change.
Love that.
And so you're bridging them together with practical step-by-step things that you can do so that you can have and so that you can be, which is actually the inverse of wealth. So the real formula for wealth is being. So you're being within you. You're focused, you're balanced, you're centered. So then you start doing from a state of being so that you can have what you desire to have.
Oh, I like that.
And we have it backwards. We have people running like crazy, doing, so they can eventually have what they want to have.
Yeah.
So eventually when they retire, after they're burnt out and exhausted, then they can be. It's a rat race. But if you switch that around and you do really simple techniques, whether it's, I like to meditate every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And when people say, oh, you should meditate, a lot of people have this illusion that, oh my goodness, I've got to go sit in a yoga position for an hour or 2 hours, and I just don't have time for that. And you can meditate actively. And when I say active meditation, is if you're doing some methodical thing, such as taking a shower, going to the gym, running on the treadmill, something that you don't really need all of your concentration. You can listen to a meditation or you can listen to affirmations. It could be 1 to 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be this big, long, elaborate thing where you light candles and incense and om. And I mean, you can, but in the practical society, you can meditate in 1 to 3 minutes. So you combine these together, which helps start to unleash some of the creativity that's within you. And when you start feeling more creative, that's when your mind starts looking for ways to have more creativity, have more fun. And then you start producing the mysticism in your life.
That is awesome. I love that. Do you mind repeating the inverse of wealth again?
Okay, so the common belief system in the industrialized age is you have to do.
Yep.
And that makes people work crazy hours, not taking vacations.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they can have what they want.
Yep.
Because they're doing.
Sure.
So that they can eventually retire and be. By that time they're exhausted and most people don't have a very enjoyable retirement because they've already burnt themselves out.
Right.
So the wealth formula is finding out who your true self is, your core self is, your joyful self. So from that area, from that space, then you do things that are more enjoyable. You have a different perception on what you're doing. And you're also more articulate on what you're willing to spend your time on.
Right.
When you're coming from a state of being, because you know what's good for you and what's not good for you. And then from that state, that's the wealth, starting to get the wealth formula. And then you can have everything you need, want, and desire once you're in that state of being, doing from the being to having.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Because I think if you can be first,
Mm-hmm.
then you are going to be doing the things that you love and that come from your core and your values and what's important to you, right?
Correct.
And then you get to have more joy, more wealth, more happiness, more freedom, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Got it. I love that. So when you're talking about the creativity, so when you can still your mind and you can, use this formula, that allows you to be more creative, right?
Yes.
So do you have some suggestions on how our audience can tap into their creativity to start assessing their inner millionaire?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
So one of the things that I do with my clients and with individuals that I've worked with is what do you like to do? And what did you like to do when you were a child before other people told you what you could do or couldn't do?
Okay. Yep.
And so a lot of individuals, they like to draw or they like to paint or they like to doodle. Or they like to make arts and crafts. They like to do something. But when I ask them, well, why aren't you doing it? The first thing they say is because I'm not good at it.
Ooh, okay. Sure.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do you have to be good at doing something that you enjoy? I mean, kids aren't naturally good at jumping when they first start walking, but they still keep doing it because it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah. They're having a great time.
Yeah, they're having a great time. So really is removing the belief systems that I have to be perfect at it to do it, and just looking at how can I have fun with it, whether I make a mess if I'm painting or whether it looks like a butterfly or a blob.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, it's just, and what can you do? So finding that inspiration on what did they used to do that they loved to do.
Yeah.
And it can be anything. It could be walking in nature. It could be collecting flowers. It could be painting. It could be, putting together stuff. So finding that creativity, whatever inspires that, and do more of it.
That's really great advice. That is really great advice because we get shut down. I used to work with 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and 4th graders still believed they could do anything, right? They still had all that excitement and all that fun. 5th grade, you could feel it start to shut down. And by 6th grade, it was shut down. Like they would be more reserved about sharing their dreams or sharing their ideas. But man, in 4th grade, they could do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're kind of taking them back to that inner child that when they were a kid and they loved doing stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. Well, before we take our next break, Luci, could you give us your contact information again for our listeners?
Absolutely. So you can get a hold of me at my website, Luci, Luci McMonagle. That's McMonagle, LuciMcMonagle.com.
Fantastic. Well, this is Shelly Ryan with Your Next Chapter, and we're going on a quick break. And when we return, Luci has a free gift for you. So you're ready for that? Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Would you like your next chapter to be free from fear and angst? Tune in to Your Next Chapter Radio, navigating through life's transitions with Shelly Ryan the 4th Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Shelly's contagious enthusiasm guides you through life's transitions deliberately, mindfully, and funnily. For Your Next Chapter coaching or to listen, visit YourNextChapterCoaching.com or call 602-617-8351. Next.
What is a brilliant culture, and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the 2nd and 4th Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
Tune in to People Like Us Radio with Megan Lyons, transcending the trauma of the human experience. Megan will be raising the universal consciousness by empowering listeners with their own inner strength, working past trauma and abuse. Megan will show you how to find true healing and inner peace through the art and practice of self-love. Tune in every first and third Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. For more information about Megan and her work, visit enterthelightllc.com.
Charlene Hess is a red-headed powerhouse of energy, love, and light. As a hairstylist, personal trainer, and life coach, she empowers people to develop a deeper connection with themselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. Join Charlene the third Friday of each month on The Cornelia Stephanie Show. Get ready to experience your highest self, find your purpose, and discover your calling. You too can become unstoppable, shining your light and sharing your gift. Visit Charlene at charlenehess.com.
Are you traveling most of your day? Do you want to take Transformation Talk Radio with you anywhere you go? Well, guess what? There's an app for that. Just go to the App Store on your Apple device or the Google Play Store on your Android and search Transformation Talk Radio. Catch all of our live shows no matter where you are. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Your Next Chapter. I really love the information that Luci's sharing with us and the practical steps that we can take to unleash our inner millionaire. So, Luci, you said you had a gift for our listeners today, don't you?
Absolutely, I do.
Great. So could you tell us a little bit about it?
So the gift that I have is a project that I did 20 some years ago. Hopefully that doesn't take me too much. And at first I thought it was kind of silly because I was still in my practical must-do stages.
Okay.
And it was called a wealth pouch. And I had instructions to put all this stuff together and then, bless these things, these items and stuff. And so I did this. And all of a sudden I started finding money. I started getting better jobs. I got my first car. I bought my first house. And it was like, this little project was accessing my creativity because I was starting to believe in magic again.
Wow.
And I was starting to look for evidence of this. And it's also, it's an old bohemian creativity because bohemians love art and they love being able to be creative. So I put together the little history about bohemians and how they used creativity and created this wealth pouch for the audience. So it's called, you can go to the website, wealth, WEALTH, pouch, POUCH.com, wealthpouch.com, and they can access the instructions of this beautiful creativity project that has helped me access my inner millionaire.
Oh my gosh, that is super cool. I love that. So really once you did this, you started finding things, finding money.
Yes. Yeah, I started finding $20 bills. And
oh my gosh.
I mean, this is back in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, even now a $20 bill would make me happy to find.
Yeah. And so I started finding, more money and I never passed up the money. Before when I was younger, it was like I used to pass up the pennies and the dimes and the nickels and the quarters, thinking that, what's a penny going to do? Yeah.
Right.
And then when I started looking at it, oh my gosh, pennies are chocolates from heaven. This is a sign. My angels are talking to me. And so I'd start getting excited about the signs. Yeah.
Yes, the magic is back. I love it.
Yeah. And my attitude was changing. And so it was easier for me to get a higher paying job rather than just a waitress.
Sure. Yeah. And you started noticing in that opportunity as well.
Yes.
And getting your first car, getting your first house, those are huge steps and maybe something that you didn't even think was possible.
I never ever dreamt that it would ever be possible to buy a car that wasn't a backyard junkyard car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
how did it feel driving that car?
Oh my gosh. It was like, oh, I am on top of the world.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, and they had the maintenance little program with it. And it's like, so if anything broke, they'd fix it for me.
And you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I was like,
yes.
They have a maintenance program with this car.
Okay. Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh. It was like the coolest thing in the world, because I was always trying to figure out, which one of my friends knows a backyard mechanic who's not going to charge me too much to replace my clutch or to fix the door. And I even went to the high school when I was poor, and at night they had these little auto mechanic classes that I started taking because I had to figure out how to fix my car.
So you could fix it yourself.
So I could fix it myself.
Oh my gosh. And look at you now, Luci. I mean, you've got this amazing job, and you're an international best-selling author. Really, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. I love it. So you can get Luci's book, Magical Money Manifestations, on Amazon.com, right? Is that the best place to go? Okay.
Yes,
it's called Magical Money Manifestations.
Yes.
Well, Luci, thank you so much for joining me today on Your Next Chapter Radio. I loved every minute of this. It was really fun. Love the practical steps, and looking forward to all of us unleashing our inner millionaire.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Luci.
Okay.
Well, I can relate a lot to Luci's story because I grew up also without a lot of money, and I've definitely had some money stories and beliefs that I've held on to for a long time. People with money are a certain way. They're greedy, they're selfish, they're snobby, they think they're better than everyone else. And I've been changing these stories when I started to notice the good things money can do for people. So I especially love that money pouch idea. It gives us options. We can support the causes we want to support. I remember when I was working for this government-funded program that was helping low-income kids start planning for college, and I got caught up in all of the political mess of working for the government. And that was the first time I remember thinking, I really need to be rich one day so I can fund this stuff myself. That's when my wealth mindset started to change. Money gives you options. Good people can be rich. Generous, kind, loving people can be wealthy. We don't have to take a vow of poverty to do good things in this world. And we also, of course, just learned that wealth is not just about money either. So if you're finding yourself wanting to make a decision around doing something differently around your wealth story, or a new chapter is in your near future and you find your head is spinning because you have no idea what to do, where to begin, or feel or maybe you feel overwhelmed by the decisions you need to make, you can set up a complimentary strategy session with me so we can talk it through and sort it out. You can go to www.yournextchaptercoaching.com or shellyryan.com to schedule your complimentary strategy session. If you're going to be in the Phoenix area, I have a couple of workshops coming up. Meditation Exploration on Saturday, October 27th from 9:30 to 12:30 at Sunrise Mountain Library. And this is an opportunity to learn a little bit about or introduce you to meditation. And Are You a Scaredy Cat? Saturday, November 3rd from 9 to 12 at Rio Vista Recreation Center, both in Peoria. You can email me at Shelly@yournextchaptercoaching.com for more details. So if you've been listening to my show, you may have gotten the feeling that I love retreats. I do. They're a great way to relax, recharge, and get away from your day-to-day routine. It opens up your creativity, as Luci just talked about. My husband and I just went to Albuquerque this past weekend for the balloon fiesta. And if you've never gone, I highly recommend it. It is a completely magical experience. This is so tied together. And even though the weekend was all about the balloon fiesta, I can't tell you how much it opened up our creativity. We were on fire with ideas. Between Sam and my two friends that we were visiting, we came up with at least 2 life-changing ideas for each of us that we are already starting to implement. We developed some really fun memories with our friends, and we came back totally energized, even after a 7-hour drive. And that was just a weekend getaway, not even a retreat. So you've heard me talk about my Scaredy Cat retreat on previous shows. This is the perfect opportunity for those of you who are ready to push through your fears and live your life with courage, confidence, and creativity. So you can join me for this 7-night, 8-day adventure in Isla Mujeres, Mexico, June 29th through July 6, 2019. If you feel like 2019 is going to be your year to make a big change and you want to start out with a clear plan and focus, come to Ignite Your Dream in 2019. The dates for this are January 4th through the 6th in Phoenix, Arizona. This short weekend retreat is dedicated to you so you can get crystal clear about your dream for this year and develop a focused action plan to make it happen. We'll get outside and enjoy the Arizona sunshine. You'll develop some new connections with like-minded people, eat some delicious Southwest food, and leave with your dream ignited. My Go Slow retreat in Key Cocker, Belize is August of 2019. I'm finalizing the dates, and we'll have them for you soon. And this is for those of you who are tightly wound and just really need to unwind. You may be a type A personality who doesn't know how to slow down or feel guilty when you do. Maybe your body's telling you it's time to take a break. So the retreat is for you. The theme of the entire island is Go Slow. So we'll be relaxing, resting, decompressing. We'll talk about getting better sleep and enhancing your yoga practice. We'll eat healthy. We'll work on meditation. We'll enjoy the beach and connect with other women, and we will go slow together. And then again, if you have a desire to visit Africa, get your passports ready because we're going to go to Ghana in October of 2019. My husband, who's from Ghana, and I will be leading you on a 10-day adventure exploring Accra and the Cape Coast area. The theme for the trip is growing your dreams. So if you want to find out any information on any of these retreats, you can go to www.yournextchaptercoaching.com. Join me next month on the fourth Monday of the month, November 26th at 12 Pacific Time, 3 Eastern, for another episode of Your Next Chapter. Until then, keep moving towards what's next for you.
Thank you for listening to Your Next Chapter Radio, navigating through life's transitions with Shelly Ryan. Tune in live the fourth Monday every month at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com, where Shelly's creative and powerful approach makes your next chapter happen by guiding you deliberately, mindfully, purposefully, and funnily. Experience proven strategies to set you up successfully for your next move. Get ready to accelerate your purpose with Your Next Chapter Coaching and listen to past shows at yournextchaptercoaching.com. That's yournextchaptercoaching.com or call 602-617-8351. Next.